Hi there, welcome back to UB Studio. I am UB and I am excited to bring another art vlog. And this art vlog, I will chronologically show how I did this big 48 by 48 inch mixed media artwork. I will share how I work and process of mixed media, and also how I really genuinely felt as an artist in this period of challenging and a huge size. So if you're ready, let's go. So in terms of mixed media artwork, how I work, it all starts with my photography. I print my own photographs and I print them and put it on Surface, and that's all my base of my artworks. In this case, because the Surface was so big, I had to print them in 9 pieces. This was letter size, just printing paper. I should have used a better paper. And because this Surface was big, I had to kind of adjust it through Photoshop how the size will match, and kind of designing the background and the clothing of the figure. And that's how I start with my mixed media base. Then I usually just bring all the scrap paper that I have in my studio, which is, it can be scrap paper from my cardstocks or the sketches that I don't want to see anymore, or watercolor practices that I've done, newspaper. I usually try to keep all the rubbish paper and use it, because I think all the scraps that I have kind of really signifies my traces and what I really use and what I practice in my own artistic journey, and that really means a lot to me. So it's kind of making that pieces, or using those pieces as a part of my background of my figure, or as a part of the clothing of the figure. And I think it's all about time. It's really making the layer of time of me, a time of UB on my artwork. So I really love using mixed media, just going no bound with medium. I love this hair part. I use molding paste to really bring out that rough texture of the hair, and the modeling paste is an important medium that really brings that reef out of the flatness of the printed paper and connects to the background. And modeling paste, when it dries, I especially love the one from Liquitex. When they dry, they become really crusty and sand-like and almost like a crust. And then I paint over to really connect that ripped part of the print and making that hair blend into the background. So this semester I took 2 painting classes, which was not my major, but after a year of taking or being in this art school as a photo major, I realized that really taking painting classes might help me pursue a little bit further in my mixed media art, because the classical photography curriculum was more about prints and printing, more of a technical stuff. I knew what I wanted to pursue, creating that artwork, blending photography and art, meaning representing the realism and imaginary world that I have. I needed to go conceptual, and I needed to go expressive, and I realized that painting classes might really help. And I did worry a little bit because I was going way beyond my major path, but I knew that this curriculum will really help. And rather than doing mixed media on the side of on my schoolwork, in this quarter I was really able to do what I want, mixed media, in class as a major form of assignment in my work. And that was just a breathtaking, amazing, worth some time. And I realized I made a really good choice. And I knew that even in reality, you might think that, oh, you wasted a quarter, or might not really help for your time of graduation. But I realized that compromising to reality, it's never going to get you to the dream that you were thinking, because unless you really take that one step forward, I knew I wouldn't be able to go further in my mixed media art because school is busy and life just takes over. And I'm glad that I took the class, and the colleagues and the instructors were amazing. And I realized that I was so capable to do this big size. It was my first time in my life going this big, but God showed me how amazing and capable He is inside me, bigger than I thought, because this size was something that I did not expect as assignment. So I really enjoyed this process. After I painted a little bit over on my figure's face to have that underlayer to make it brighter, I always use oil pastels to bring out the contour and the light and really enhance those important features of the face, like eyes and nose and cheeks, of course, and the lips. I love using fabric. I try to use more fabric as possible, especially in my smaller versions. You can kind of see the little prototype on the right. That's 8x10. But it's kind of hard on the smaller version because, it takes a lot of space. But on this huge space, I was able to use a lot of fabric. And I bought this floral fabric from Colorado last year. And I love using fabric because it really represents where I visited or the memories that I have. Like, this fabric represents the time that I spent at Colorado, and just memories that I have in different places represents in clothing and fabric to me. And I was glad I could use this fabric a lot on this piece. I realized that if I don't take the step, I would never know what that step means to me as an artist. This might sound really cliche, but you're the only one that is really stopping you to move forward as an artist. That's how I felt. The fear and the anxiety and the self-hate and doubt is the only thing that's in you that is really stopping you to take that next step. And in the midst of my mixed media journey, I really wanted to know what was the next step that I could take it as a challenge to push me to really take these small works into another level. Not necessarily big, but in this case, going big really helped me to see and gain confidence of just smearing with all my physical body and going beyond the scale that I ever imagined. And I think that's how God works. God is bigger than us, and God works big more than we think. And God is actually not even limited to this 48 by 48 size, but He goes beyond. And that's how I felt during this progress, that how big He is, how immersed and how vast He is. So after I do the hair first, way before the background, because the hair needs to go in, and after the hair, the background comes in, and after the two exist, I blend those two as much as I can, because I always want the hair to be just flowing and going out in all directions. And because I think hair represents power and energy and desire, and also not only because of the representation of hair, the blending between the figure and the background in art realms represents ephemerality. So something spiritual and something that's holy. So I knew this way after I actually repeated this process with the hair, but my another instructor told me that artists have been repeating that element to show memory or loss of memory or looking back memory or the sadness of being so short in this life and ephemerality. And I just love mixed media, not only because it blends photography and painting together, but also it really expresses spirituality. And spirituality, to me, is not just about deity or something religious. It means how the soul is input in the artwork. And not only the soul that represents this figure, but the soul of myself. And when I really paint, that's when I really see the soul of me. And it's most of the times it's colorful, and most of the times it's very bright and kind of calm at the same time. But I believe that representing my soul into this world is one of my missions and one of my calling as an artist in this world. And through mixed media, I'm able to do that. And every time I try it, it's just spectacular and mysterious. And that's why I love the art of mixed media. Working in a big size wasn't actually that much of a difference from working in just regular or small sizes. It was just more paint, more printing, and more time and more fabric, and just a little bit more energy and effort. So I think going beyond your limits, it's not about shifting gears or changing inside out or trying really something new. I think it's about endurance, to wait for that longer time to make your artwork, to be okay to input more medium, and to really push yourself for that long period of effort where you think and really sketch to make that artwork even better. So if you are really finding a way to really challenge and go a step further, one step further in your art field or in your practice, I ask you to feel that it's okay to take that right step. It doesn't have to be forward, and even if it's a step back, it's okay. But just don't compromise to the reality, and don't compromise that you have to go fast. Just find what is best in your time right now in your art and take that step. And that would be a challenge. And I know that you are already talented and that you are already there because I trust you. You are an amazing artist. Thank you so much for tuning in this art vlog. Thank you for your support all the time, and see you in the next art vlog. Bye!